Hi guys, it's Dr. Liz Jenkins. How are you doing? I'm with drlizcoaching.com. And today I wanted to take you inside one of my couple's conflicts. I mean, haven't we all at some point in time really wondered what it's like inside other people's relationship, other people's marriage, and kind of wondering, are we showing up the same, different? Are we normal? It's that part of us that wants to understand and maybe get a quick little peek of how we're doing in comparison to other couples. And so today I'm going to share with you one of my sweet couples from a while back. And we're going to talk about what some of the triggers are for this couple. And then what are some of the destructive, repetitive behaviors that were coming up until we started working together? It's really doing a deep dive and flipping things around. And once they mastered understanding the triggers and how they were contributing to the escalation of the conflict, they got on board and made some very significant changes. All right. So, for the record, this gentleman, it's Dan and Linda, and so wife's Linda, and so Dan really did earn the initial mistrust. There was a betrayal. There was an emotional affair with a coworker, and so eventually Linda kind of stumbled across some of the evidence by doing what many couples do or many people do when they feel like there's something going on that they aren't privy to. And so she became a mini detective and uncovered the betrayal and the emotional affair connection. And so we did a lot of deep work on that. And one of the things too was just having Dan recognize what an affair was. What does that betrayal? And and I'll be talking about later on in some other of my trainings that, but many people are unaware what exactly is an emotional affair and how that is actually even more destructive than a physical affair. And we'll talk, like I said, we'll talk some more of that. So anyway, these couple comes preloaded with a lack of trust, the betrayal. And during the course of that unchecked moment before we started working together, it was quite common for Linda to jump in there and basically say, "You're lying. You're a liar. Show me your phone. You know, I don't believe you. You're not telling me the truth. You know, this. Okay." That escalated Dan to defensiveness. At first, he was concealing things, but also we didn't really realize how some of those words and accusations really hit some deep, deep triggers for Dan. And so we worked through the betrayal, we cleaned some of that up, and trust started to come back together again. What we didn't realize at the time that Dan wasn't aware was that this was tapping into some of his old childhood situations, some of the childhood things. So they cleaned things up. Linda didn't jump in there and call him a liar. She didn't stick her finger at him. He didn't explode, and she didn't walk out and throwing threats and accusations and name calling. She didn't do any of that. And so they really got on track of working effectively with each other through this betrayal. And then something happened. Dan's phone suddenly showed up with some posts and things. Dan's emails started coming with some posts and things. And he had no idea what they were. He had not solicited them. He had not asked them. But Linda got a look at it and immediately jumped to the conclusion that the stuff on his phone or that was showing up on his computer was another affair. And what did she do? She regressed. She went right back into, you're lying. You're holding something from me. How did this stuff show up here on your phone? You have to have been doing something. And so she wouldn't trust him. That his only explanation for that was that this has got to be spam or someone's hacked my computer, because I I do not know these people. I did not reach out for these kind of conversations, and we need to take my computer and my phone to some place to see what's going on and what virus it is. And in that moment, Linda was right back in the affair, and she would not listen. She continued to attack and do accusations, and then typical Linda style, throw a few insults out and threaten to call an attorney, and off she went. And he was this time devastated and even more self-righteous, because he knew, later on we're talking, he knew he had not done something, didn't know why it was showing up on him, but he was deeply offended and hurt that Linda didn't believe him. Okay. And this was different for him, the emotional hurt. Now he's emotionally hurt and upset because he hadn't done anything wrong. The other time he was defensive and concealing and trying to play, there's nothing going on here. This time he felt wrongly accused, and it offended him to his very core. And at that point in time, he was actually like, I'm out of here. I'm not going to live like this anymore. So we got back together again and we talked. We figured out what was going on. And what we found out, okay, for Linda, was pretty obvious, right? She saw stuff on the phone, on the computer, and actually what she failed to remember was that Dan had brought it to her attention. He came walking like, you're not going to believe what's on my phone, kind of thing. I don't know where this is coming from. Have you seen something like this? So he came to her openly, innocently, shocked, surprised at what was on his phone and his computer, asking for her help, asking for her advice. She missed that because for her it was a trigger, and she stopped listening to him and started in that repetitive, fiery attack. Okay, so that was part of it. What we also found for Dan is that growing up, he had some other siblings, and his father as well as mother didn't seem to believe him as much as they believed the younger siblings, because he was the oldest. So he was kind of always being thrown on the bus, not always, but often thrown under the bus by his younger brothers and sisters. And so he was consistently in trouble or the wrong guy, even if he had not actually done something wrong. And this carried through into high school too. If one of the brothers or sisters did something, these parents and family would always sort of look at him to be the bad guy. So feeling innocent and being accused ran deep. And he hadn't even realized that. He had kind of stuffed it away, worked through it, moved on, moved away from family type of thing. And, matured up, had his career, had his family, all those types of things. And so when Linda said this thing to him, or these things to him, after he had brought it to her attention, for him that was a last straw, because he had actually had to sever the relationship with his family of origin in order to move forward. And so he was ready to repeat the same thing. I'm going to sever this relationship with Linda because she doesn't believe me. I'm innocent. I don't deserve this. So what did we do? We identified the triggers for each of them. And we did some deep work around what emotionally it meant, what it felt like as a kid, how it might be showing up now and in that particular conflict. We did a little forensic and sorted it out. Then we went back and did a redo. We went back and did the repairs that the two of them needed. That in that moment, if Linda hadn't triggered like that, and Dan had not had such a trigger to those accusations, they might have been able to sort it out and tease it out and manage it much more effectively. And this time, when we did the redo, went right back through the fight again, only I'm there with them. We were able to stop at each point in that and recognize what it was feeling like, what the person was missing or overlooking, and come back with the redos, with the repairs, with better listening, better empathy, and clearer conversation that created trust. It created repair. And these guys were able to fix that one and then move forward because they now had the tools to help identify what a trigger might be, or identify them on, why am I so upset about this? Where is this coming from? So they could do some personal inquiry, or their spouse could now have more history around them and say, hey, maybe is this bringing up something from, when I first found out that you're having that affair? Or is it something that maybe came up from childhood? Or, fill in the blanks. I hope this was helpful to jump inside one of my couples, and they're so gracious to let me share the information with folks that because they want to make sure that other couples, other relationships don't have these unnecessary conflicts and arguments, and an issue can stay an issue, and it can be a good conversation. We're continuing to show up with some other types of real life inside a couple's conflict, so you can start getting an idea of what it looks like for these folks, and maybe it'll trigger something for you when you can identify how you might be showing up in a destructive, repetitive pattern based on some triggers, and we can get you untriggered. Okay. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. I love it. And I have my Reignite VIP high touch concierge couples program, where we identify things just like this couple did that trigger. We interrupt the destructive patterns, and we redesign so that you're connected, reconnected, and feeling the passion, the love, the friendship that each of you deserve. So if you're interested, just DM me and I'd be happy to share the information with you. Take care. Bye-bye.